narcissist will give you just enough hope to hang on to, absolutely nothing. And we can all cling on to that hope that if we just hold on a little bit longer, all will be okay. They will recognize the errors of the ways. If we just describe it in a different way or approach them on a different day, they will see the light and they will stop being so hurtful towards people. However, this doesn't work with a narcissistic person because they sell you a false belief that they will change so that they can continue exploiting you, so that they can continue getting their needs met by you. Narcissistic people often come along with those false promises of change. They've seen the light, they'll go to counselling, they'll not do it again. You made them do it in some way. If you just give them a bit of time, they're just struggling. You know what kind of past they've had. You need to be more supportive. They make you feel guilty for them hurting you. So this video is going to be a few signs that a narcissist will not change. So when it comes to someone who has a strong inability to accept any form of criticism. Criticism isn't a pleasant thing for most people. However, most people do not become hostile and defensive when they are criticized. Yes, when you have been a victim of a narcissist, you can go through a period of not being sure of what is genuine feedback and what is criticism. You can become defensive, you can become hostile because you've got to work on your emotions. However, you know within yourself that this is happening. With a narcissist, they don't believe themselves to be the problem. Everything is your problem, everything is your fault. They're unlikely to reflect on their faults because they perceive themselves to be perfect. So we can all be hurt by some form of criticism. However, the good majority of us don't see ourselves as perfect. So we can think, oh, they might be right there. Might have to go and work on that. That's icky. Whereas with a narcissist, you're wrong, they're right. They lack the self-awareness. Again, they don't see themselves as the problem, so they fail to recognize their flaws. They fail to take any form of responsibility for their behavior. They simply deflect the blame. They're very resistant to growth and resistant to change because they don't believe themselves to be the problem. Instead, they go all out to blame and shame all those around them to remove any form of responsibility so that they don't have to face the consequences, so that they don't have to put the hard work in. So those who lack the self-awareness are very unlikely to change because they're very unlikely and unwilling to recognize what they need to improve on for themselves. An intense need for validation, constantly seeking admiration, expecting praise and recognition, lacking in internal reflection. These people are often unwilling to change because when they do something wrong, they twist the story in how they tell it to another person to get the validation that they were in the right. And they lack the self-awareness, so they perceive themselves to be right and that it's the other person that was wrong. They blame everybody else. They only do for others in order to get something for themselves. Their kindness is their exploitation. Their charismatic charm is their exploitation. Their confidence is their arrogance. So they're seeking that attention. When they do something for you, they expect eternal praise and gratitude from you. And when they ask you to do something and you say no, you place a healthy boundary, they use what they did against you to guilt you to serving them. These people are highly unlikely to change. Manipulative. Manipulative people. Narcissistic people are highly skilled at the masters of, and they are the masters of deception. They use that charismatic charm, they use cunning tactics to control others without any sort of remorse, because they lack the empathy. These people are reluctant to grow past their self-centeredness because they are incredibly entitled, and to get their entitlement met, to get their validation met, to get the attention, there is no low they won't go to exploit people to get their needs met. These kinds of people are very unlikely to change. Those who have a relentless need for control, that rigid need for control over others, are highly unlikely to change because they're not going to accept any form of personal growth. They're looking to control all those around them so that they can remain in control of their own life. They're looking to control other people's perceptions. They're looking to control events. They're looking to control the narrative to serve themselves. Those who lack empathy. When you lack empathy, you struggle to understand the feelings and the needs of others. You have a limited capacity to see beyond your own self-serving needs. So anyone who lacks genuine compassion, who lacks genuine empathy, they're not going to change because they're just looking at how to work things in their best interest. They're not interested in those around them. They are interested in themselves. And those who repeat behaviours, hurt you, tell you it was a mistake, and then get your forgiveness, and then hurt you all over again in the same way and expect you to just get over it, or if you bring it up then you're hung up on your past, you're bringing up the past. Those who repeat the same mistakes and go all out to blame and shame everybody else lack the awareness of the mistake they've made and that inability to accept the feedback that, hey, you did this last time and it didn't work, so why have you done it again? Would rather manipulate and deceive and gaslight people to get away with their behaviour so that they can control everybody around them because they don't care for how their mistake or failure or wrongdoing has hurt another person. Repeat patterns of behaviour. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how we learn, it's how we grow, it's how we develop. However, when it's a chronic cycle, and they lack the self-awareness, they refuse to learn from their mistakes, it's a deep-rooted issue, they're very unlikely to reflect and they're very unlikely to change. Any behaviours you notice within somebody which shows an inability to change, please do add those into the comments for people reading through, because most of the information is through people's lives experiences and discussions and debates and putting information together. And yes, new evidence comes along all the time. So any signs you notice, please add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have 2 books out on Amazon, a Narcissist Handbook, which is an ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and 15 rules to deal with narcissistic people if you cannot go no contact. I shall add the links to those in the description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.